Hey everyone, I decided to do something a little bit special today. I stuck in the house, nothing to do. I started thinking about, of all things, the various Star Wars animated series, new and old. Started thinking about the new ones, the Rebels, the Clone Wars, the new current one that they have with the Academy pilots tied into the sequel trilogy. I don't know that much about. But then my mind started going several decades back to the first animated series. I didn't know if I wanted to do a comparison of the two eras or not, but I've decided to instead just simply talk about them, of the various series. I'm going to start with some of the new ones first. Rebels. I really loved Rebels. It was slowly introducing some previously decanonized things, because when Disney took over, they went like, well, this isn't official, this is, and which I understand. They want to, now that they have the property, they want to control it and keep this filter what fits their ideals. It's reasonable. Honestly, it is. But I understand why it would upset a lot of fans. But Rebels, it introduced to the mainstream some of the stuff that was from the extended universe. Like they brought in Admiral Thrawn from the Timothy Zahn books, and that was exciting. That was fun. I very much enjoyed Rebels. Didn't catch a lot of Clone Wars, but I kind of liked Clone Wars. I did not, hardly at all, catch any of the current series running with the Academy pilots. But modern sensibility, Star Wars, you know how that is. It's probably not my cup of tea as much. But the modern series, you definitely can tell they're modern because just a lot of the presentation, not necessarily bad. I like new and old, but I really kind of want to move on and talk about the old, the 70s, the two series from that. Very much forgotten series, and I apologize if you're picking up any noise from the other room. My nephew and his girlfriend may be fighting. Well, maybe not fighting, but arguing and something. Anyway, I apologize if that came over in here. This is kind of an impromptu recording, and I didn't tell them that I was going to do it. Anyway, the two series from the 70s, Droids and Ewoks. Interesting choices, honestly, when making a Star Wars series. Droids followed R2-D2 and C-3PO in their adventures with previous masters before they wound up on the blockade runner that led them to Luke. It was a question no one asked, but it's kind of fun, and the series actually introduces a lot of things that would come up later. Believe it or not, back in the 70s, in that series, they had pod racing. They didn't just simply come up with pod racing for the prequel. No, it existed. And, what are they going on about? Anyway, they explored more into the character of Boba Fett. He made a few appearances. one of the masters, one of C-3PO's masters was not a Jedi, but had procured a lightsaber. Wasn't terrible with it. Maybe not the best he could be, but he was okay. He was like a roguish scavenger guy, and he happened to get a lightsaber. He claimed he just picked it up off of some old man who left it in a speeder, which is silly, but I suppose it could have happened. Heavily suggesting that it was Ben Kenobi. It was Obi-Wan Kenobi's lightsaber that he found, and that's kind of silly. And that was a kind of fun series, which was very attached to the universe as a whole, and introduced a lot of features. Ewoks is about as detached from the Star Wars universe as a Star Wars series can get. But it also was fun in an interesting way. Ewoks followed well. The Ewoks, particularly Wicket, who was one of the first Ewoks you meet in Return of the Jedi. Wicket and his friends, including the tribe princess, as they go on magical childhood adventures. It's Smurf-esque, this series, and there's nothing wrong with that. But them facing terrible beasts that live on Endor, and just shoving in their mysticism, because they don't really understand everything, so it's all mystical and spiritual. Ewoks had a very high fantasy vibe to it, but we know it's a Star Wars series. But anyway, it was fun. Both had a lot of fun value to them, and went in very risky experimental directions, which I think paid off, but may not have financially done them well. Especially not Droids. I don't think that one lasted very long. But anyway, the modern series are fine. You get what you get from them. They're less experimental, but that's safer and probably more financially successful, and still answered a lot of questions that we had. I do believe so. I think that the modern series, again, I don't know about the Pilot Academy one, but Rebels and Clone Wars actually answered some questions and introduced some things that would appear later in the movies. And it's like, that's what you want to do if you want to tie your universe together. Every source of media from that should answer something that the audience might want to know. And of course, the biggest, most important thing of any entertainment industry product should be, is it entertaining? Are you entertained? Did you have fun? Did you at least not find it boring? The largest cardinal sin of any of these products. You can get angry, you can be happy, as long as there is a response, you're good. Boring is what you're trying to avoid. It's like professional wrestling, really, which is also entertainment. Why did I mention? Anyway, but very similar idea. It's like, you can be loved, you can be hated, as long as the audience is giving you a reaction at all. Because audience engagement, positive or negative, is what you want in the entertainment industry. And I think, for the most part, without looking at facts, figures, notes to blather at you, I think that's all I've pretty much got to say about this. But this was a whim to talk about, and I'm just gonna call it a day with this and put the video up as soon as I'm done, I think, because I'm gonna need to post something soon according to my schedule. I try to post every 3 days, with some exceptions. It doesn't exactly match up number-wise because my goals are post every 3 days and have at least 8 videos a month. I usually wind up having extra days, so it doesn't exactly match up perfectly. But anyway, I've blathered too much because I decided to explain how I do things on the channel. Anyway, hope you enjoyed just sitting down with me and listening. I was just filling up time talking about these shows I remember. And hope you stay safe, hope you have a good day, yada yada yada. Like, subscribe if you wanna, I hate saying that. And until my next video, whatever it's gonna be, stay tuned.